So, as a quick recap, last time you guys entered combat with this strange robo family, and Polaris, after briefly exploring the fortress, prepared to spend maybe a couple of weeks there exploring, figuring things out, arrived, began to explore, and as a curious cat journalist does, went into a room, started looking around, and accidentally activated what appears to have been some sort of teleportation circle that teleported her to Velrath's Minister of Strategy, right outside the home that everyone else was at. And so she ran up, hearing her friends in danger, and joined them in combat. You guys managed to fight them, hoping to keep them alive, and unfortunately finding that as each one of them got injured, they had some kind of detonation feature, and they all exploded and left you guys covered in soot and a little worse for wear, in some cases a little worse than others. And you now find yourselves standing in the middle of this house, soot all over the walls, random robot parts strewn across the floor, and the red door that they were all trying so hard to keep you away from now swung open, and you have the opportunity now to decide what you want to do. That is where we will pick up today.
Polaris is gonna wave, like, nice to see you.
As leans up against the wall by the door and just like slides down, and he's just gonna start like looking for his peanuts and like eating them.
Yeah, Ghana's probably going to eat the last 4 of his peanuts.
The
Okay,
peanuts
you all take a moment to heal up.
I'll be eating 3 peanuts.
Actually, yeah, hold on. 3 peanuts will be enough, so I'll have 2 left over.
They heal for 5, right?
Yeah.
Did you give any to Polaris?
Oh.
Ghana has 1 peanut left after he eats, and
Ez would
gives
walk
Polaris
over
a peanut.
and Ez would give her his
in
2
exchange,
peanuts.
she goes, here, and hands you her sketches of the weird runes. It was like, this teleported me here. I'll show you the stone later. And just hands you the sketches.
And then Ez would give you his peanuts. So
if you didn't have your hand under the peanut, it would have hit the floor because he didn't care about the peanut once he saw the book.
She took the peanut and then handed you, like, here you go, like, in exchange.
Yanks it out of your hands immediately, starts looking at it.
There's a stone outside too, and you can look at that later.
And with that, Doc is immediately marching outside to go look at this stone.
Are you guys gonna go out and look at it?
Ez would kind of like point to the door. Aren't we here for something? We almost died. We should probably finish this up.
Doc would yell back, it's not a really great idea to leave our backs exposed if anybody can come up behind us at any point.
Oh.
We can lock the door.
I agree.
Is that going to stop Velrath?
Yeah. The people protecting the door are no longer here. As he's just like looking around at the feet. Whoever is in that cellar wanted to remain there. Whoever came through that portal can come through again.
So how do we stop a portal?
Let's go look at it first.
Because I don't have that kind of magic.
You walk outside, and just kind of off to the side of the house, it would have not really drawn your attention at first. It just kind of looks like a big stone in the ground. But as you get closer and you're paying more attention to it, yeah, you realize it looks a little bit out of place. It's very smooth, almost perfectly round. And again, it has these arcane symbols etched into the stone. And it's not glowing anymore like it was before when you somehow activated it, Polaris. But yeah, you find it there. And it's it's raised. It's a little bit raised on the ground. It's like if you weren't paying attention, you might even trip over it.
Don't step on it. I think I stepped too close or something when I was trying to get the sketches for you, Ghana. And then suddenly there was this light, and I couldn't see, and it was so bright. And then the next thing I knew, I was here, and I could hear y'all talking and things happening.
Doc,
and
do you have anything with a sharp edge that is not your trident?
No, I don't.
As holds out an arrow.
That would work.
I believe
I
the
have one
arrow
of
would
these.
break.
I have many.
It's probably spoons and knives.
Does it need to be large?
I would like
Rusty's
to try
Rusty's behind
to-
you guys, and she just kind of points at her like weird sword hand.
I would like to try to crack the stone.
Oh.
Oh.
But it needs
She
to
turns
be
one
a
hand
clean,
into like a hammer,
It
and the other hand
needs
into
to
a
be
big
a clean
dagger.
crack.
Rusty
Oh.
turns one of her hands into like a hammer, and the other one into like a big, like, sharp nail.
Goes,
Chisel.
can you make a clean crack, not pulverize it?
Well, you know,
Can you
I
turn it
haven't,
into a chisel instead of a sword?
I haven't tried this very often, but I could try if you want.
After you, Rusty.
yeah.
As is going
The,
to help her out by using he's
And-
going to
Play some
Guidance.
music.
ask well no, he's gonna ask Ghana like where should she hit to not pulverize the stone, and then he's going to pretty much like mark it with dancing lights to like hit like a hit here, like along this line, if Ghana would be able to
Wait.
tell.
Can Polaris use identify on this thing?
I think so.
Yeah, if
I don't
there's
remember what identify does.
I choose an object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. Hold on. You choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them and whether it requires attunement, etc.
What a great spell for a journalist to have. Go for it.
Okay,
Very
she's
good
like,
spell.
hang on, wait a second. And she puts both hands on the stone and just focuses for a little while, trying to study the thing and figure out how to use it. So, because she's trying to see, like, well, if I learn how to use it, then maybe I can learn how to, like, make it not send to anyone else here. Or a way that we can
Anna
block
just
it.
leans into Doc. She didn't do that before. She didn't do that the first time.
She just looks up,
Doc would just
I was
wiggle his
busy
eyebrows.
rescuing you.
Doc would just wiggle his eyebrows and say, "She's a spy now." He's joking.
You,
He's absolutely joking.
So you do this, and you find that this is some form of a lodestone. It's some kind of, like we said, it's some kind of a magic stone that, because these arcane symbols have been carved into it, it allows someone to teleport between two places with matching stones on them. So it tells you that those other stones there must have teleported to other places, but this one is was some form of teleportation between Velrath's Department of Transportation and the home of his Minister of Strategy, Jack.
I have a
Understanding how it works, does that mean that she also can kind of understand how to make it not work?
You might, maybe it would help you have advantage on ways to, understanding how to maybe break it. What was your question, Doc?
Do these symbols? I don't know. Maybe this needs to be like an investigation or some other check. Do those symbols happen to match the symbols that are on Ghana's artifact?
No, they
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
No, these are
question.
arcane symbols. The ones on the artifact are a language.
Yeah, some kind of ancient language. These are just like magic
Gotcha.
symbols.
Ghana is a ritual caster, and like teleportation is a ritual spell. So
Mhm.
he would know that if you disrupt the symbols, aka cracking the stone, or like disrupting one of the symbols, like etching an extra line into it or something, like that would stop it from working.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So
about to
yeah, if you
suggest.
guys are helping Rusty with this knowledge, he can go ahead and try to do this. I already rolled for her.
Wait, yeah. Should we try to use it first?
It'll take us to Velrath's castle
we-
or fortress.
So either we destroy
Got
it and close our backs, like you were saying, or we leave it open and we go into the house and keep doing what we're doing.
Because this is a back door
I mean-
essentially into the
Ghana
fortress.
looks to Doc and says, "Do you trust me?"
Sure.
And you throw him onto it.
Go.
He goes, "Rusty, proceed." And he is going to cast guidance on her so that she gets an extra D4 on the check.
Okay. So she does pretty well. She manages to chisel away and carves through one of the symbols. And as she does, you see some arcane energy just kind of sparks out from the stone. And it like crackles and hisses. And then as she finishes carving through the full symbol, you see like this energy just like a relief valve comes out. And the stone is like almost like a powering down, like, and it just seems like this energy that it had has been released, and it just is now a regular stone.
So then, if he looks around, is there any like twigs or anything like laying on the ground around here?
Yeah, you're in the middle of a bog, so there's plenty of trees and sticks and things.
He goes, "Now that we have dealt with the threat of someone coming in from behind," he's going to pick up a stick, and he's going to break the stick in half. He goes, "When we return," and he's going to cast mending on the stick to like seal the stick back up. He goes, "I can fix it for later."
Ooh. For
Oh,
a minute there, I
nice.
feel like Ez was really upset that you broke a stick in half.
Yeah, but he mended it back together to.
Yeah,
to-
that's what I was saying. Just for a
so
second
when
there, I
we
was like, what the heck,
return, he
man?
can mend. That's why it had to be a clean crack, because
What
it
the hey,
has
bro?
to be you mend two pieces together.
Great. Okay. So then, do you guys want to go explore
You
this
guys said there's some stairs?
cellar door?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Great.
Ghana's gonna look to Rusty. He goes, "Rusty, has anything like what was in those three been installed in you?"
Rusty looks and says, "Certainly hope not. I'll be honest, I was unconscious when they operated on me, so I still sometimes discover new things about myself. I've never had anything like that happen though, clearly, and I've gotten fairly hurt in my days, so all I can say is I hope not."
He's then gonna look to Doc. He goes, "Ivo needs to be stopped."
I would agree, sir. I would agree.
So are we
Let's-
gonna not kill
With
him? or are
almost
we
like
gonna,
a sense, with a sense of like, this is probably the first time you've seen anger in Ghana's eyes.
Then I think the doc would not be as nonchalant about that, and he would nod and say, "I agree. One step at a time. Let's find out what this guy might know about Ivo."
All right. You guys want to head down head down into that door?
Ghana's gonna check on his servant and see if his book bag is full of books yet.
Yes.
How many books were in the book bag? Like, how many of the books in this room actually fit in his book bag?
Let's roll a d20. 15
Can I
books.
use- Okay.
A lot of books. Nice.
What is your? Oh, it's unseen. I was gonna say, what does your servant look like? They look unseen.
Yeah, it's unseen servant.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then the mouse is gonna jump up onto Ghana's shoulder.
great. So you have your mouse. You heft this bag onto your back, and you guys begin to make your way down. Notably, as you start to go in, there's no lights. It is pitch black.
Yeah, Ez was going
Do
to
you-
ask, as he's going down the stairs, before we go down the stairs, Ez would like to cast dancing lights, but make it
Okay.
in the form of a humanoid. And he's going to
Okay, so
make
you have
the
a-
light that
Yeah.
of a torch.
Okay, so you have torchlight in the shape of a humanoid walking out in front of you. Isn't that
Yeah,
a thing
and it
in
can
that,
walk-
that old Disney, like the one with the magic sorcerer guy that had all the little dancing? Anyway,
Oh,
great.
that's a good
Do you have,
Fantasia.
yeah, in Fantasia.
Yeah.
Do you have a dancing light going out in front of you so you guys can see?
And it can be up to 120 range. So it's going to be
Okay.
like 30 feet in front of us.
As you see it kind of go out in front of you, you see that essentially through this door and just beyond the little landing is a spiral staircase. And as you enter and you begin to descend this spiral staircase, you find that you're going down into the earth. And so you get below the foundation of this home and you see there's dirt making the walls. And you see there's roots going through, and as you go a little bit deeper and deeper, think Minecraft, you get beyond this layer of roots and dirt, and you get down to a layer that's stone and moss. And you notice on the stones and in the midst of all the moss, there's like carvings etched into the stone. And do any of you guys know Druidic?
The druid.
I don't think any of you
Oh, we
guys
do
know
have a
Druidic,
druid.
right?
We have a druid that knows druidic.
Oh, you know Druidic?
You learn druidic when you get your
Yeah, I
What is it,
forgot that
second
you have
level
like
in
8
Druid?
classes.
Yeah. All druids know druidic.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting because you have like 6 different classes.
only 3.
Okay. So you would be able to recognize some of these words. You only just learned Druidic though, right?
No, I have the most levels in druid.
Okay.
Oh.
So you know Druidic. You recognize some of these words. But it feels, all of the writing feels very fragmented. Like it's very chaotic, like the way it's etched into the walls. It's not organized in any clear way. It's just random words and like phrases and things that don't really make any sense to you. And they're just kind of all over. And as you guys continue to go further and further down into the cave or down the spiral staircase, you'll notice that it becomes colder and colder, and the stone starts to become more and more polished. Any signs of life, the moss or the roots, are gone. You're deep enough now that it's just like polished stone on the walls. And the writing becomes almost more organized the deeper you go, where at first it was all very just kind of like this crazed, frenetic mind was carving all of this. You now are noticing it starts to seem like there's lines and like full sentences and cohesive thoughts, and they still feel like it's a little bit hard to piece together what it was all about. You just catch miscellaneous words like, like humans and evil and things like people can't be trusted, and what is the nature of biology, and what is the nature of life, and just questions and like arrows, and like someone's just like jotting their thoughts down, but it's starting to be a little bit more organized. And you see like even in Druidic, things that look almost like equations. And you continue down and down and down. And as you get to what feels like you've spent an extreme amount of time, maybe 30, 40 minutes, just going down and down and down into the earth, you come to a landing at the bottom of the stairs, and in front of you is just a hallway. And here we can pull up a visual if we want. It's kind of off to the side here. There's a hallway. If you're not able to see the visual, it's basically like if you've watched the show Severance, these long, just like narrow hallways. And this one is, I'll kind of bring it over there. I think that'll work. Yeah, you got it. But this one is all polished stone. And on both walls, again, you see this extremely organized Druidic text that's just covering all of the walls. And overhead, there's these stones that are emitting some light. And so your dancing lights now is maybe a little bit moot. There's these lights overhead that are spaced out perfectly evenly. Everything down here is organized, tidy, polished, though covered in dust. And so you're just standing here at the base of these stairs with this long hallway out in front of you. And way down at the end of this hallway, there is an unmarked door and nothing else. What do you guys want to do?
Are these symbols down this hallway the same Druidic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same Druidic symbols. And again, you reading it, Ghana, would probably have a hard time really understanding any of what it's saying.
He
just
understands
kind of like
what it says. He just can't make sense of it because it's all just
exactly.
like chaotic.
It's chaotic. It's also, I would say you can tell without even having to roll for it that this is the mind. This is all written by a mind that you are a pretty intelligent guy. This seems to come from a mind that is at least whatever he's talking about, whatever he's like recording notes about, he is extremely intelligent on this subject. And so it's like trying to read Greek if you don't know Greek, or maybe more so like if you're looking at the notes of someone who's an expert in some subject and you don't know anything about that subject. It's just, I can read these words, but it's probably like if you were trying to explain D&D to someone who doesn't play D&D, right? And they're just like, That's great for you, man. I don't know anything about any of that.
I love that for you. See you on Sunday.
Exactly. So you can understand the words individually, but all together, you're like, these concepts are so complex and so involved, like you're having a hard time understanding all of what he was trying to record notes about, seemingly.
So, Gano, it seems that Jack is a druid. Or at least he works with one.
So he uses magic, huh?
Polaris is gonna kind of, because we have this long hallway, there's everything written down. As we're headed down, she's like, hang on. And she wants to kind of check around for anything that seems trappish. Just in case, because a long hallway and with a door at the end feels very suspicious to her.
Yeah.
And then while she's walking out, keep the dancing lights like 10 feet in front of her, just in case something is sensitive to light and triggers.
Okay. Yeah, roll for investigation.
Okay. 18.
With an 18, you feel very confident. This hallway, what you notice, is that it's dusty, but you don't find any traps or anything that would hurt you. You just notice that this hallway seems almost forgotten, dusty, like no one's been through here in a rather long time.
Okay. I'd like to not try to open the door, but just test the knob, make sure it turns, just to see if it's locked. She's not going to try to open it on her yet.
It does turn. You're able to turn the knob.
Okay, so I'll turn to everybody else and be like, it's fine. Door's unlocked.
As we'll dispel his dancing lights, and he'll walk over to Polaris.
My hope was to approach Jack as a fellow scholar, but after what happened upstairs, I don't think that is possible anymore. Whatever is on the other side of that door.
I mean, you can try.
Imagine if he's on the other side of this door and he's just listening to you guys. Eventually, he just walks over. Hello.
So, are you wanting us to hurt him or to have you talk to him? I remember we had that conversation on the way here. Are we looking to talk or are we looking to hurt? I just want to make sure.
What we were told is that the king comes to Jack for advice.
Mm-hmm.
To our knowledge, he himself has not committed any atrocities aside from...
Right.
As he just looks up, he goes, but those were Ivo's doing.
Yeah, you want to know about Ivo. So are we trying to extract information or have a conversation?
It's not an either or because it's both. He goes, we need information on the king and Ivo. But I would like to make it known that we don't wish to hurt him if we don't need to.
Okay.
I hope he does not fight us.
Perhaps you should go first through the door then, Ghana, just in case he's in there.
That way you can talk to him first.
Yep.
Ghana begins walking forward, opens the door.
As you open the door, you step into a room and you see the room itself is kind of relatively large, not as big as the house upstairs, but a big room. Domed stone room. Like a half dome. And you see more of those same symbols just carved into all the walls, like someone just was continuing to take notes. And if you wanted to, you could investigate those notes. But the only thing that's in the room is kind of floating in the air in the middle of the room is a strand of energy. Just kind of this white wisp of floating something. Kind of light. It's lighting up. It's bright enough that it's kind of lighting up this whole room just from this strand that's floating in the air. The room feels almost forgotten, covered in these carvings of a mind seemingly seeking answers. And those carvings covered in dust of an effort long since abandoned. What do you guys want to do?
So this room is just everything is dusty. Nothing. There's just nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just it feels and except for this glowing wisp and all these carvings on the wall. So you guys could investigate the carvings a bit more to see if you can decipher, or you could
3.
Oh, so
on investigation. So he's like, yep, this is more, it's druidic, but I can't make sense of nothing here.
Is there another door?
So you guys
in
can
this
then
room,
investigate.
Or is this
Yeah, is there another door?
Oh, yeah, there is an
Also,
so did you guys all go inside?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
so the door
would like to, being someone who utilizes illusion magic, he would like to investigate the light strand in the middle of the room. given that's his kind of school. If it's
Great.
illusion magic, he just wants to see if it's illusionary
Yeah.
or if it's genuine, like a contraption.
So on the far side of the room, you do see another door. It looks just like the one that you came in through. This strand, as you investigate it and you kind of get close and you're looking at it, all of a sudden the air kind of ripples and you see it kind of explode with light. And it's almost like projection mapping, but more like holograms. Like suddenly you find yourself standing in the middle of a vision, and you see these 3D objects all around you, and you can't reach out and touch them. They're all kind of in black and white, but it's almost like a scene starts to play out in the room. And so as you guys stand there, this is what you see. You see the scene of a man. Those of you who would know what this is, which I think would be most of you, you see a drow, which is like an elf from the deep. And they're known for they at least have a reputation for being maybe nefarious. A lot of people don't have a great opinion.
Is it John?
This is a young drow, and it looks just like John upstairs.
Oh.
And but even younger than that. He's there, he's smiling. Beside him is his wife and their baby daughter, just like she's carrying their baby daughter. He has this large pack on his back, bulging with books and scrolls. He's bright-eyed with the thrill of new beginnings. And you see as they're approaching this quaint but bustling village tucked away in a swamp where humans and elves and halflings are all living together. And as this man approaches the town, he kind of waves at some people and says, "Hey, I'm John. I'm new to the area. I'd love to help you guys out and make a home here with me and my family." And you see shutters all throughout this little market that he approaches start to slam. A handful of people that are in the market, people kind of close their doors, and some people that are in the market turn toward him, and you hear some murmurs from the people in the market that say, murmuring things like, more spies from below, and someone else murmurs something about demonkin, and one man steps forward. He says, "Hey, drow, I don't know what you're thinking showing up in a place like this, but you can go ahead and take your shadows elsewhere." And he takes a rock and he throws it at the man and misses him, but actually it lands and hits their baby in the face, and she starts to cry. And you see that the scene then kind of freezes in this moment, not quite glitching, but like it's paused. And you see that this room has this mechanism. There's on the wall. It's like these controls. And a voice speaks into the room, like this automated robotic voice. And it says, "How would you like to proceed with, what do you call it? Sir, how would you like to proceed with the simulation this time?" And you guys have the option of, it's basically asking for a response to, what would you like to do in response to this moment? Would you like to? That
as did real, like it is illusionary magic, or is it not? Is it a mechanism?
Yeah, you realize all of this is clearly like a hologram, like an illusion that's happening. The spell is it's a version of encoded memory. If any of you guys know the spell encoded memory.
Got it.
And it's allowing all of you to see it, and it's asking for each of you to provide a response. So you maybe want to attack this guy back. You might want to just leave and try to find somewhere else to live. But it's asking for each of you to respond with what you would like to do in that moment. And it refers to you as, did I say that? It says, "What would you like to do, Master? How would you like to proceed with the simulations?"
As is going to message into each person's mind, just so that it doesn't obviously answer the hologram. or the simulation. He's
That
just going to let
sucks.
everyone know.
'Cause
It's illusionary magic. It doesn't seem to be harmful to us. It's just showing us something. And he's just going to in each person's head.
Ghana's just going to say out loud, proceed as it happened originally.
Okay. What about the other three of you? It says
Ez is more
It says,
interested
what about
in
the rest of you?
studying. Ez is more interested in studying the illusionary magic. So he doesn't say anything. He kind of sits down and just is observing the magic.
It specifically is
unfold.
asking each of you for a. So you can do that, but it's going to wait until you give it some kind of a response.
Oh. Oh. Ez would just say it would just emulate what Ghana said because he really doesn't care.
Okay.
He's more
What about
interested in
you?
magic than what happens.
Doc, Polaris, what do you guys want to do? How do you want the what like version of the simulation? Do you want to have it respond with violence, withdrawal, just whatever happened originally, or whatever like the default is?
I think because Doc has no idea what this is, he is going to agree with Ghana and repeat what Ghana said.
Okay. Polaris, what do you want to do?
I was muted, didn't realize.
Oh.
I'm gonna say I would like to know the truth of what happened originally.
Okay, so you all say I'd like to know the truth. Proceed with the default. So you see, as the robot says, as you wish, and it says proceeding with simulation as per default, and you see the scene starts to resume, and you see him, the young drow, look at the people and with a moment of deep anger and a flash of violence in his eyes, which he subdues, and he turns and he turns to his wife, and he calms his baby, and he says, look, with time they'll understand, they'll come around. And he turns back to the people and says, look, I don't mean to bother you at all. I'll just if as long as you guys don't mind, I'll just build a house kind of away from the rest of you. I won't intrude on your town. We'll just keep to ourselves over there, and just know that I'm here to help if you ever need anything. And you kind of see it start to fast forward, and he and his family go off, and they build themselves a very nice little home on the edge of town, and kind of keep to themselves, and occasionally try to, offer a helping hand to the city, consistently slapped away and returned with mockery and scorn. And as that happens, the illusion kind of dissipates, and it says, you just hear the voice say, let us know if you'd like to rerun the simulation, ma'am. And the room kind of returns, and all of the light that formed this illusion kind of condenses back into this little strand that's floating in the middle of the room. And you're back, the door that you came in through is open, and there's still the door that was on the far side of the room that you haven't checked.
Ez is gonna, before we move forward, just let everyone know, I don't know if Jack was the one who cast this illusionary magic, but if he is highly proficient in illusionary magic. We should be careful moving forward. We may not fully be seeing what we really are seeing. So be aware that they may tap into your mind.
So you guys could, of course, try to continue investigating, or you can just wander, try that door and see what you find.
This was just an empty room with like the scribblings on the wall and then this thing in the center.
Correct. And then, and whatever this kind of voice thing that can speak into the room and is seeming kind of able to control the experience and respond to the person who's
Then
going through the
Ghana would
simulation.
respond to Ez. He goes, if Jack wanted us gone, then would he not be powerful enough to make it happen?
I just don't know his intention with the robots that were upstairs.
I believe they were a protective measure rather than an offensive measure. Or defensive rather than offensive.
I
They
just
were
want to make
offensive,
sure
not
that
offensive.
I just want to make sure that you guys know that someone may poke into your mind or show you things that aren't there, just so you're ready.
Doc would look around and say, I don't even know if he's had... I don't think anyone's been through here in quite some time. Look at all the dust. Look at how settled and... wherever Jack is, he may not even know we're coming, which it could be good or bad depending on how he reacts.
There's still another door, and I'll walk over to that door.
You should proceed.
And check around it and like test to see if it is unlocked. Not actually open it again, just test the knob.
Yeah, same like the other one. It seems unlocked and like there'd be no problem opening it.
I'll turn to Ghana. Would you like to lead the way again?
He doesn't actually respond. He just opens the door.
You walk in and you see a room that looks virtually identical to the previous one. Another strand floating in the middle of the room. And a voice pipes up and says, "Ah, Master. Been quite a while. Good to see you. Would you like to proceed with simulation?"
Doc would speak up and say, how long has it been?
Oh, I am not programmed to record precise amounts of time. I cannot recall. Perhaps, and it goes silent for a moment. I would suspect decades. Good to see you.
The writing on the wall is still the Druidic, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's more of the same. You could investigate it again if you wanted, Ghana, or try.
I would like to attempt again.
Polaris asked
9.
the voice, "What's my name?"
Master, you've always asked me to simply refer to you as John. With a 9,
Thank you.
I think all you notice is that I think the words that you can make out, again, you can make all the words, like the fragments that you're kind of piecing together now that you're in the second room. You're noticing that it seems to be a log where it'll say like attempt number 486. And then it would, have some information about like what the results were of his simulation. Would you like me to proceed with the simulation, Master?
What is your purpose?
Ez? What are you saying?
Oh, Ez was going to ask, is the family in the simulation the same automatons, or are they actually drow?
Master, this is, of course, your memory.
I have troubles with my memories. I've been having trouble recalling things since it's been so long. I could use some help with this is why I've created you to help me remember these things. So do your job and remind me, what is it that they were? Were they drow or were they automatons? I must make sure the programming is working functionally.
These were you. These were drow.
Thank you. You are still working. I wanted to make sure.
Annika, you asked what its purpose is.
Yeah, she asked, "What is your purpose?"
You created me so that you could re-experience these encoded memories and explore alternative paths, alternative futures.
John is
Why
a man
do
with
I
many
want-
regrets.
I suppose you would have to answer that. I simply was created to serve a purpose, not to answer those questions. I suppose those are the answers you're seeking.
I can see why the king has chosen him to be his advisor. He studies situations carefully, understanding the cause and effect. Hundreds, possibly thousands of times, wording things differently.
This raises the question, where is John? Are Jack and John the same?
I do
Show
not
us
know.
the si-
Show us the simulation.
Show us the simulation, Doc would eventually say.
Ghana has a theory of what happened to Jack, but he doesn't know yet, so he's not going to say anything.
As you say that, just like the other room, the strand kind of wiggles and shakes and all of a sudden bursts into light, and it scatters across the room and it starts to take shape into these various forms. And what you see is a small farmhouse, the one that you guys just came through. It has a garden out front, a pumpkin patch. It's clear that Jack, or rather that this young drow, built a quiet life for himself and his family here at the edge of the town, farming, trying to win the trust of these people through patience. You see through the window, the house is filled with books and journals, which now fill your bag. And you see the young drow pacing as he reads yet another tome in the study. Time kind of speeds up, and you see days passing in seconds. You see this young drow purchasing a speaking stone from a strange traveling merchant. It allows him to enter into communication with a network of sages and prophets and oracles. And you can hear him say, you hear him having conversations and asking them for advice, and soon starting to give more advice than he received. He becomes someone that through the speaking stone, he's now able to, what initially he was using to get wisdom from this whole network. Many of them are now coming to him to ask for information, finding that he is more knowledgeable and wise than many of them. He's becoming respected and sought out within his little home, still estranged from the rest of the community. And suddenly, the whole room starts to feel turn this like orange and red, and you see as time kind of slows down again, it homes in on this particular scene where the cottage is there's a like a mob of people from the village approaching, and they're carrying torches, and it's the middle of winter. You see snow all over the ground, and snow is falling. And all of the garden is dead, the trees are dead, and this mob approaches with torches. And they say, "We've had enough, drow, of you and your family in our town, and we've had enough of the strange things that you're saying to people and the strange oracles that you bring our way. We think that it's about time that you guys mosey along." And they take the torches, and they're shouting in, and you see inside the young drow is with his wife and his daughter, who is now, you can see they've just finished eating cake, and it was her birthday. And they're kind of huddled in the house, and he says, "Don't worry, they won't do anything. They'll leave us alone." And the mob outside takes their torch and lights the house on fire. And they say, "We'll see how you guys do, how you fare without a shelter to keep you guys warm in the brutal winters of the bog. And they all kind of gather outside and they're laughing and talking to each other and mocking the Drow family. And here, as the home starts to catch flame, the simulation pauses again, and the voice comes back in. Says, "What would you like to do this time, Master? Would you like to?" And it kind of shows a few different things. There is a large dam that you guys didn't notice when you were outside that is holding back kind of an aqueduct that this village uses for water. And it says, "You made me to explore a more specified approach for this situation. Would you like to destroy the dam and put out the fire on your home, knowing that it would damn the village to starvation without access to fish and fresh water? Or will you flee into the forest with your family to avoid the burning home? Or would you like to explore a third alternative?" And it waits for each of you to provide some kind of response.
Again, he goes, "Proceed as it happened originally."
Okay.
Show us
What about the
truth.
rest of you?
He's just more interested in what he actually did rather than changing.
Yeah.
Ez looks visibly angry at this point.
Hmm.
I want to see you defend your family.
Interesting. Okay. What
Show
about
us
you,
the
Doc?
truth.
Doc is show us what happens.
Okay. So for Doc, Polaris, and Ghana, what you see is he looks to his family and he sees that the home is getting too hot and smoke is filling it. He looks out and he sees the dam, and you see for a moment he begins to prepare a spell, which you, Ghana, would recognize as a spell that would summon a creature. And you can see that he's looking at this dam like he's going to summon some kind of creature to destroy this dam. And then he pauses and he looks at his daughter and he looks at the people outside, because that's not who we are. And he takes them and he throws like a chair through the window and helps get his family out, and they run off into the wintry forest. And then you guys see the whole vision again collapse into itself, and it goes back to just being the strand. But you look over and you see that Ez is still kind of entranced in this vision. His eyes are kind of glazed over. And Ez, what you see is a version where this young drow looks out and he says, "I will not let my family be killed by these people. The lives of 50 guilty people for the lives of 3 innocents, easy calculus." And he summons a creature, and you can't see it. You just kind of hear this loud splashing sound on the other side of this aqueduct, and this cracking noise as the dam begins to break. And all of a sudden, the dam that is holding this aqueduct together just explodes, and water comes gushing out. And it's all these fish and all of this fresh water comes pouring across the village, and the fire on the home gets put out. And he rushes over to a window, and all the smoke starts to come out, and he and his family is okay. And it zooms ahead, and it shows that all of these villagers then die, and the drow and his family survive longer than the rest of the villagers who don't have some of the same survival skills and can't survive the winter without access to the fresh water and the fish that they needed. But eventually, toward the end of the winter, the drow and his family begin to run out of resources as well, the fresh water and things that they needed. And without those, they too, they barely survive the winter. And as the years go by, they just are completely alone in this place with no community and no one around them. And then you find yourself kind of snapping out of it, and you wake up, and The voice says, "Another failure simulation, I see."
Which one was the failure?
Ah,
Mine.
well, you didn't end up with the community. Your family was unhappy.
Show us a version of the simulation where John reasons with the people and gets them to change their mind. What does he say? What does he do? How does he act to make for a peaceful resolution where everyone is happy?
You hear it's just kind of silent, and you see the strand in the middle of the room just kind of shaking and wiggling. It says, "After 842 simulations, we have not found that version yet."
Is it possible?
That is the answer that I think you have been seeking, or were.
Is there yet another door?
There is, yeah. Just like this room is just like the other one. There's a door at the far end.
Perhaps we should continue to the next room. We might find another piece of the story.
Ghana walks up, opens the door, and walks through. Like, he doesn't let
Follow behind.
Polaris look for traps anymore. Like,
yeah, she's not even going to bother at this point.
He doesn't feel any threat at this point.
Yeah. As you walk through, this room is, again, just like the last. The only thing that you notice is a little bit different is with each progressive room, the writing seems even more precise, almost printed by a machine, you would think. Like, at this point, it seems what was so frantic before now is like machine perfect writing all over these walls. And a very similar voice comes online and says, "Master, it's great to see you again. It's been so long. Would you like to proceed with the simulation?"
Yes.
Just like the previous room, it explodes with light, and you see a snowy forest. You see Jack collapsed at the foot of a tree, covered in snow, huddled with his family. He's slipping in and out of consciousness, the form of his charred home a blur in the distance. As he begins to slip into the abyss, a few figures, just silhouettes, appear. This is his memory, and he couldn't quite make them out. They approach, and they pull him onto a cot or like a gurney, and then carry him away. The next memory, the next thing he can remember, the next thing you see is a cold laboratory where there's metal arms overhead and a Durgar, which is like a dwarf from deep in the earth, kind of gray skinned, wearing all crimson, is leaning over the body of this young, not quite as young, older now, drow, and it's working on the table, his extremities blackened from frostbite, and the Durgar working away, carving and cutting, installing, attaching. And you hear the voice again say, "What would you like to do? Would you like to let him proceed with the replacements or stop him? At what point do you cease to be yourself and become, well, something else? What would you like to try this time to discover at what point you cease and something new begins?"
Show us the truth.
Is that
As would ask for
all four of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ghana doesn't.
As you just ask for the
answer.
truth. Okay.
Ghana sits there for a while. Because Ghana knows what's coming, he just doesn't want to see it.
Eventually it says, We will proceed with the default, Master. And you just see as the Duergar continues to work, and he just replaces and attaches, and it's this long procedure until eventually all that's left of the drow is a brain and a body that looks very much like his original, but it's been completely mechanized and converted. And
What we saw upstairs.
No, it looks older. It looks like this older version of himself that was so the version that you saw upstairs was a little bit, but this version looks like it looks a little bit older, and it looks way more advanced. This looks like it's got all these, what you saw upstairs compared to what you're seeing happen here looks like child's play. This looks like when you've seen a Warforged before, or like what you've seen of Rusty's body, is what this looks like compared to that, which was more of like almost more like an automaton. And as that scene comes to a conclusion, just like before, it collapses back in upon itself. It says, "We remain inconclusive, Master, about at what point a thing, when you've replaced all of its parts, how many parts can you replace before it ceases to be the same thing?"
What is that
Show us-
called?
Go ahead.
The Ship of Theseus?
Yes, that's it. The ship of Theseus. How many things can you replace before it's not the same ship anymore?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Rusty's
during
with him, right?
Yeah, Rusty is there, and you can see she looks pretty disturbed and just kind of looks to you guys, her eyes kind of watering. She says, we should keep going.
That's Ivor, correct?
Ivo, yes.
Ivo, sorry. Yes.
I have been on that same table and undergone same process. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
Doc would speak up and say, "Show us a version of the simulation where Ivo is defeated."
Ivo defeated. And the simulation spins back up, and it shows the drow kind of awakening from the table as it's been repaired and turned into this robot. And it shows the drow standing up and turning to the Duergar, and Ivo says, "Ah, you are awake finally. We have someone here to meet you." And the drow says, "I have no interest in meeting anybody. I was meant to die out there with my family." And he turns and he takes a spear, turns his arm into like a spear, and plunges it through the chest of the Duergar. And he turns back and walks away. And the simulation says, "Seems killing him could have been relatively easy for you."
That's interesting. I don't know if he's as powerful as he is smart. Doc just kind of puts his hand to his chin, just thinking about a confrontation that is days, weeks away.
You see, Rusty says, "Yeah, if it's all the same to you guys, I wouldn't mind moving on from this place."
As would
I'm
walk to
gonna
the door.
hold his hand, and as we walk to the next door.
As you walk into the next room, for the first time, you see something different. The room is virtually identical to the previous ones, except that on the far side, the door is like twice as large as the other ones. It's this massive, ornately carved door. And in the middle of the room, though, is one more strand. And the voice, just like the others, comes online and it says, Master, so good to see you. Would you like to proceed with another round of the simulation? It's been so long.
Show us the truth.
How long has it been?
Oh, probably decades.
Same answer.
And like the other rooms, this room is filled with dust. And all of a sudden, just like the other ones, the strand explodes with light. And there's a scene in front of you. This scene, you see, you're still in Ivo's laboratory. And you see Ivo kind of standing off to the side sheepishly. And you see the young drow now converted into some kind of warforged hybrid, kneeling on the ground. And in front of him is this massive silhouette. You can't quite make it out. It's standing there twice as tall as any man you've seen, a hulking figure in the shadows. It just gives you chills seeing even its silhouette. And it says, word of your incredible knowledge and wisdom has reached my ears. You are truly a prolific mind, one that I could not allow be lost. And you have suffered. Serve me, and I will give you power to remake the world. Take revenge upon those who have hurt you. I will give you the resources, the books, the time for vengeance. Refuse, and you can die nameless. The death of your wife and daughter will have meant nothing. And here it pauses, and the simulation says, Master, what would you like to do? Would you like to... you've programmed me to explore the options of accepting the bargain, rejecting a deal with the devil, or exploring some kind of third path.
Show us what happened.
You say that, and you see the scene kind of resumes, and Jack looks still in pain as his body hasn't even healed and adjusted to this new form. And he looks up at this dark silhouette, and he says, if you can give me vengeance and a space of my own, I will serve you. And the scene fast forwards, and you see him handing him a stone, and he says, carve a teleportation circle outside of your home. Looks like this. We will return you to your bog and leave you to your own devices. We will equip you with any resources that you need. Simply answer anytime I call or anytime that I approach. And as long as you are willing to do so, Ivo will be at your disposal. All of the wealth of Velcora will be at your disposal. You can do as you wish. And the scene kind of dissipates and again collapses into a strand. And the voice says, again, no clear solution to avoiding a deal with the devil. And you see that large door in front of you.
Well, I'm going to guess that we're about to meet him.
I don't think we're ready yet, though. There is a lot of information that we could probably learn right here. Show a version of the simulation where you ask Velrath how he is going to give you power, how he is going to do all of these things he says he's going to do.
The simulation spins back up, and it fast forwards to that moment where Velrath has just offered to do these things. And you see the young drow looks up at him and says, How can you provide me with the means of vengeance? How can you provide me with the resources? If I'm going to serve you, I need some kind of assurance. And you feel the room just gets cold as this presence seems to almost reject the idea of even being questioned. He says, and he calms and he says, I should expect nothing less from an inquiring mind such as your own. Let's suffice to say, I have friends throughout the world who are supporting our kingdom, our dredging operations, a full kingdom worth of taxation and revenue. I will put them at your disposal as long as you keep me in my position of power and keep our kingdom unharmed by those who would hurt us. And he says, right. And it pauses. The voice comes back in and says, would you like to try anything else in this simulation, sir?
Yes. Ask a version where, or proceed with a version where you ask, do you have any connections to the king of Crespon?
The simulation proceeds, kind of resumes, and the drow looks up and says, do you have connection specifically with the king in Crespon? And you see the large silhouetted creature says, were you anybody else? I would scorn you simply for asking. But if you are to be my advisor, I will need to answer any question you have. First, I must get an answer. Will you obey? Will you support? Will you be my advisor? And he says, I will. I will be your advisor. He says, as my advisor, then, you can know that yes, I have been supported by Lord Elric in taking my position here. As you, he was the one who helped me with usurping our previous king. And it pauses again. It says, we are reaching our memory limits. What, is there anything else that you would like to try?
Doc would look over at Ghana.
So this whole time during this simulation, we have not, it's just this towering, like, shady figure.
Right. You can't actually make out the creature. It's kind of in the shadows.
Ez is assuming it's the...
Velrath.
Yeah, I mean, Doc is
Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
it is as well.
Right.
Doc is visibly shaken by that answer, if that's even a possibility.
Yeah, Ez would be looking at Doc. Seeing how he reacted.
Proceed with a version where you illuminate the room enough to see the face, or to see his face.
You have a moment of silence, like it's thinking, calculating, and says, this data is not available in the memory you've provided, Master.
Neither are hypothetical outcomes.
I could show a hypothetical version of the speaker's face if you would like.
So, okay. Not yet. Doc's just like trying to piece how this thing works together, and his brain is just going about as strong as it possibly can. And he looks at everyone as, so if he just said it's not within the data, the information that he has, is all of these different scenarios that we've been seeing what actually would have happened if that choice was made?
So the way that the illusionary magic works is it's derived from his brain and his memory. If he used something in his memory to create this strand, then everything that derives from it is from his memory, which means he can feed it information to get different outcomes. But if he doesn't know, all it can be is a hypothetical, which means in theory, everything we've seen, which, like I warned us, cannot always be true. The majority of what we saw is not true, and you cannot guarantee its validity. So at the end of the day, the only thing we know is the truth strand that we asked of what actually happened. Everything else is not necessarily possible or the truth, because it's all based on memory.
Yeah, the voice kind of pipes up and says, Master, you programmed me to use these encoded memories to recall these key moments. And then you taught me to extrapolate from these possible alternative versions of the future. We cannot know for certain what would have happened, but we've used your knowledge trying to explore alternative futures. I can only know for certain the way things actually happened as your encoded memory tells me.
And what actually happened was he just accepted the deal.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, Doc.
then-
Illusionary magic is difficult sometimes to interpret what's real and what's not. It
The
can be
voice pipes up and
confusing.
says, Master, as a reminder, you only made me with a fixed amount of memory available each day. Would you like to proceed with a final simulation?
No.
As you wish. And it just kind of falls silent. Yeah,
It's
so
a
there's one
big
large door in
forest.
front of you. Looks a little bit more ornate, carved wood.
Guess we will have to figure out what's behind that next time.
What's behind door number 3?
4.
Next
Number
time,
4.
campfires and dragons.
Hey guys, my name is Mark and I'm the lead pastor at Lux Digital Church. I hope you're enjoying the D&D campaign, the show today. I hope you're having a great time hanging out with the entire crew. And I also wanted to tell you that over in our Discord server, we have an ongoing Dungeons & Dragons West Marcher style campaign. That means you can jump in and play at any time that is convenient for you, as long as there's a game being offered with a variety of different dungeon masters and players. We have games that are posted every single month that you can join in with, starting at level 1 and going the whole way up through level 15 in D&D in the new 2024 5th edition rules. If you're interested in joining in and playing some D&D with us, all you have to do is join our Discord server at discord.gg/luxdigitalchurch, and then go ahead and grab the D&D rule, slide down inside of the channels to the Play D&D section. You can look there and find different videos on character creation, different elements of the world that we're playing in, and then you can submit your character and jump in and adventure off of the guild board soon. Once again, I hope you've been enjoying the show and the live stream, and we hope to see you over in the Lux Discord to play D&D with us very soon.